So hi, one of the Good Noise podcasts. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with,
Daisy from the Dead Deads.
and we're gonna ask you some questions today about their upcoming album. Tell Your Girls It's All Right. I'm gonna start. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Well, super excited. You mean just like the record or the tour that's coming up?
Everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, the response is great all around. Yeah. It's been a little bit delayed as far as the record. It was supposed to come out last like March or April.
Oh, wow.
That's what we were gunning for. And then of course COVID hit and we had a tour with the Darkness at the time that got canceled. And it doesn't make sense. It's best when you're putting out a record to align that with the tour. And so then it was like, we should hold off on putting the record out. But yeah, so we're just kind of like anticipating, we're very eager to have it all out. But we've been putting singles out along the way to kind of satisfy our desire to get it out. And then I think it's been keeping, let people know that we're still around and we're going to be back after pandemic. Don't forget about us.
That's got to be rough, though, because you guys were going to put it out right as the pandemic started. So it's been done for how long now then?
Well, so that gave us some time. So it would have been done in March or April, but it was kind of rushed.
Okay.
So that gave us some time. It was like, okay, in particular, the vocals and then the little bells and whistles and extra kind of production stuff, we were able to take some more time with it. So I don't remember when we finally got it totally mixed and mastered and like done. But I think it was like May or June, something like that of last year.
All right.
Okay, so that's good. You got more time to polish it, make it more refined. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was going to be kind of a tight fit. We were in the studio, I think like February. And so I was basically done, but even sometime last year, May, June, I got to go into the studio and add like the harmonies and we made a couple other kind of artistic decisions then too, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
We're ready to get it out.
Let's go.
So close. So is there any meaning behind the album name or cover art?
Yeah. So Tell Your Girls It's All Right. There's a song called Cure for Life that is on this record. So it comes from the lyrics. That song we wrote a little while ago, and we had actually we were performing it already, and we put it out on a live record from Halloween. I think it was Halloween 2018.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 2019. It's really confusing now.
Blends together.
It's all blurring together. It's fine.
Yeah. Pre-pandemic, it's like all 1 year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a song that like our fans that were actually there for the live record recording and have listened to it. They know the song. So Tell Your Girls It's All Right is like a little snippet. And that was kind of part of the message that we wanted to give, because again, pre-pandemic, there were still like a lot of problems and issues, like politically stuff. Like we're not fans of Trump, so like basically every day something was like, and then then you've got the larger stuff like the global warming or whatever. I don't even remember our biggest issues back then. Oh, like gun violence and stuff. That's sort of, but that there is hope and there's room for optimism, and that was a little bit of the message behind all that.
All right, I love
That's
it.
good.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little about your writing process for this record?
Our writing process for this record is very similar, or almost exactly like our writing process for everything that we've done, which is very organic. So the three of us get in a room. Sometimes we're like, we're going to have a writing session, but other times we're just rehearsing and either just feel like, okay, we're nailing this, or get kind of bored, or opposite, we may be completely unprepared. Like we're like, oh, we're going to rehearse these songs. And then one or all of us will just be like, we got too busy. And so we're going to be rough. And then like, well, instead of trying to slosh through that together, we could just write a song.
Yeah.
So there's different kind of like impetuses for us to do writing. When we knew we wanted to do a record, we definitely had some more set, like, okay, we're going to write. But anyway, so there we are. We're in the room. We're deciding we're going to write a song. And one of the three of us starts making noise. And then another one of us starts chiming in, whether that's with a vocal or a harmony or a beat or and then we start building on that and kind of jam it, and if we like it, it's feeling good, then we keep doing it, or then we go, okay, that's the verse, now what's the chorus, or we start just kind of like a sculpture. I think of it very like sculpture, kind of like chipping away. It exists, and we're finding it, and then we get to where we can kind of play it all. Like we remember, okay, we're going to do that 2 times. We're going to do that 3 times. We sort of remember kind of what we think we want to do. And just one of our phones, we, do a voice memo, send it to each other and build from there. For the most part, what I've been describing is almost just the instruments. Although Meta, our lead singer, she'll sometimes just start going like la 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 or something on top. But most of the time she's doing a lot of the singing part and the lyrics off, but like separately. And then we come back together and she's like, I'm thinking of this, or she may email or text us, I'm thinking this theme.
Okay.
And we'll also throw her ideas either intentionally or not. Like, I think one of them, like there was a book I was reading, a Carson, not Carson McCullers. Who wrote The Road? That's not Cormac McCarthy.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah. I was reading, actually it wasn't The Road. I was reading Blood Meridian, I think, which is a crazy book. But yeah, I was just telling her about that. And like, have y'all read any of his stuff?
No,
I don't think I have.
No, I don't.
It's pretty intense. So I would only reluctantly recommend it. It's really well written, but it's kind of dark. And then it's just deep. It's a lot of bad things happen to people and stuff. And it's not fair. But he has crazy vocabulary. There's like, every other page I'm like circling words and looking them up. And that's what I was telling her about. And then she, lo and behold, like threw some of those words into a song.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it seems like you guys, at least you guys write the instrumentals like in the same room together. So did you guys write it all during the pandemic, since you guys couldn't be in the same room together?
I would say like almost none. I mean, during the pandemic, as far as like for the record, I think, Meta may have like switched out a little bit of, this word for that word, something she thought made more sense or would work better. And then there, the harmonies, and you do write harmonies, but those kind of come extra, or where maybe we didn't have like some heys in the background, like those extra higher levels of sounds and stuff that happened afterwards. But the core, the meat and potatoes of the writing happened way pre-pandemic.
I was talking like more grand scheme of things, like the record's done. Were you guys working it all outside of that, writing new music?
Oh yeah. We really didn't get together. So as a band, I'm trying to think, because no, I don't think we've written any songs. We just rehearsed this past weekend and we almost did.
Oh, okay.
We actually started jamming something that might turn into a song, but maybe not.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were actually rehearsing to a click. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Yeah, like to the metronome. And so we were rehearsing to tighten up for a tour. It's a good trick to get really, really tight. And one of them was going ding dun 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 ding dun dun dun, and I picked that out on my bass, and I was like ding dun dun dun, kind of jokingly was like playing it in my off, just because it's really loud and annoying, and it was sort of my way of dealing with that. But then our drummer started like kind of doing a thing, and who knows, I think it's a 50-50 chance we write a song based on that.
All right. Okay.
Your writing process is so creative. It's like you guys never turn it off. It's just always going on. Like if you hear a cool sound, again with the clicker, it's like you just made that into a song, or 50-50 chance of making it into a song. Yeah. It's amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, I guess it's also like compulsive.
Fair.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, so also in the process of writing, but more actually after it's all written. We ended up writing 16 songs, and only 12 made it to the main record. And 4 songs are going to be put out on the 4th side of the double vinyl. Ooh. So it won't be available digitally. But so there was that kind of culling of those 4 songs. But then also once we had landed on, okay, these are the ones we're going to record, then we kind of went back and did a pre-production and kind of worked on it ourselves of like, we do want at least 1, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of these to be on the radio and to be, radio friendly and like singles. So then you start to do stuff like, oh, that one's too long. What can we do? And sometimes the answer is nothing. So we're just going to have to leave that alone. And maybe that'll be the Bohemian Rhapsody of our record. And then other times like, yeah, we don't need to do that chorus like 4 times in a row. We can get it down to a normal length, and also think of things to make it more poppy. So one of our, I guess our first single was called In for Blood, and that's in 7/4, I think, or 7/8, one of the two. And it was sort of like that for almost the whole time. And there, I think it was just at the end that we get into 4/4 to really rock it out. But we decided to incorporate the 4/4 a little bit more. So that way, I don't know. Yeah. Just make it a little easier on
more
the average for years. Yeah.
All right.
So those kinds of things you do. I don't know why I told you all that. I don't think that answered your question at all.
No,
no, it's all good.
And then answered every follow-up question we could possibly have.
Literally, yeah. Wow. Okay. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys kind of shuffle it? Did you write the opener to be an opener, closer to be a closer? What was the process behind that?
We actually did, I guess the opener, we kind of did do it as an opener, but that was just because the feeling that we were having, and I can't remember, I've kind of failed to remember like who starts all the things, but at the time the leads and the first song on the record, or what has now become the first song on the record, we just wanted to punch him in the face,
Yeah.
And actually the second song on the record was also very particularly like, let's just punch him in the face, and like we just started with that. And so then it was natural that those ended up being in the front, but we didn't really know that. So as far as sequencing goes, there's a couple things. Once we decided we were going to do vinyl, you have to work with the amount of space that's on a vinyl record. That's limited. And you can only, depending on how long the songs are, okay, we can fit 3, but then that one's long. So, or 4 or 5, but this one's long, so we can only fit 3 on that side, and so on. So we did kind of jigger with them a little bit, like moving them around, and that's a little bit how the 4 songs got. We sacrificed them because they just it was too much. Actually, it was too much punching in the face.
No such
and then
thing.
Also a little bit, it was like we had a lot of punching in the face, also a lot of weird, a lot of soft, a lot of this and that. And these, it was sort of, I mean, they're great and I love them. And I kind of sometimes feel bad that we put them to the side, but it's a lot, you really want it to be one sitting. I want, and I think we want for people to just listen to this record as one record and be able to listen to it all over again and not just be like, wow, that's a lot, and then never want to listen to it again. So
that's fair.
You're one of the only people that has talked about like track sequencing and then also brought up vinyl alongside it, like putting that in the thought. So,
it's a real thing. Oh, it comes up a lot. It's funny. I was on a vinyl geared podcast. I think it's called Vinyl Tap is a bar here in town. Vinyl something. Anyway, they were great. I enjoyed it. But yeah, we talked about that some. And I don't think many of their guests really talked about that either. It's like it's a hidden process, and it can be agonizing. Not for us, but I've known a couple different situations of other people that are putting, a record together, and it like kind of fighting. And you can't, I mean, it's just reality. It's physics at that point. Like you can't fit more on there. There's different ways you can extend it. You can get more on there if you reduce the quality. And we sort of went the opposite. We did the highest quality. And so it's actually a 45 speed. So there's even less than normal on our vinyls. And, but yeah. yeah, it can be tough. Yeah. You can get into some serious arguments.
Yeah.
Because they're your babies.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, so what made you choose to put the extra 4 as like vinyl exclusives? Was that to push vinyl sales? And like, because it's a little frustrating for somebody who doesn't buy vinyls that often, just like, I love this song, but I can't hear it like on Spotify, Apple Music. Like, what was the thought process behind that?
It was a little bit of that. It was like the compromise kind of like,
okay,
yeah. A lot of it, again, back to like the length of the songs, there's one that we thought was going to be our first single. So when we put out In for Blood, there was another song we were going to actually do a video for instead. And at the last second, we were like, no. And we did the other one. So they're great. We think great viable songs, but they just didn't make the cut. But we didn't want to let them go all the way. So it was like, well, they could fit on the last, but they won't fit on something else. And so, it was just a compromise to keep them a little bit alive. And I think what'll end up happening is I don't know when or if we'll put it out on Spotify or Apple, like properly digitally, but I know on YouTube, that people get it out there somehow.
100%. Sure. Yeah. Guaranteed.
So what song on the album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
No clue. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that like, I couldn't tell you which took the longest.
Fair enough.
What was my personal favorite?
Yes.
Yes. Also impossible.
Come on.
Pass.
Come on.
Come on.
Awesome. Well, it depends on my mood. I think the second song, which we haven't put out, I guess I can talk about this. There's a song called Thinkers and Prayers. I think is my current favorite. There's another song that I play trumpet and bass on at the same time.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive.
That we wrote for that on purpose. So with bass, it's just open strings, and then I'll play trumpet. So I don't really, it's a trick, but it's designed around that'll be doing that. And that's really just a fun one.
Wait, will you be doing that like on tour? Will you be playing the trumpet and bass at the same time?
I might be. I haven't remastered this skill. I've worked on it a little bit, but we'll see. I've kind of let my lip go over quarantine. I have a little bit, but basically haven't played the trumpet. I've just like greased it up every now and then and kept it alive. But so I'm a little worried that I can't keep it up, but I'm gonna try.
Okay, because that'd be like super impressive to see. Just like
I'm gonna bring it on tour. I'm gonna bring the little holder thing so I can put it down real fast and get back to bass. And so we'll see.
All right. So can you tell me where your headspace was at while you were creating this record? I know you said this was like 2019, so if you can remember.
Yeah, well, some of the songs are older. So headspace, there's different headspaces, but for the most part, I guess our headspace is always is just like kind of fun, and thinking about I guess sometimes the headspace is more like, well, we have a song that's like this already. So let's do a song that's like this instead. Like if we write a song in 3/4, then not right, like the next one, even if one of us starts doing that, like, we just did that. And then, okay, well, let's do something else then. Yeah. But, just enjoying each other's company, I guess, is the headspace, and it's just being creative. There's no pressure as we start writing stuff and jamming things. If it gets boring or kind of sucks, or even if we love it that day and none of us want to go back and listen to it, and then we'll just let it die. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to let go.
Yes, we can let it go.
That's so wholesome.
So, no pressure.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend that your fans listen to this album for the first time? In the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on, at a party? What is this album?
I would say Possibly with friends, or if not with friends, and with other at least dead core members, because there's a lot of, or people that have listened to our song in the past, or our other music, because there are some callbacks. So they would probably have fun, together, like picking out, oh yeah, that's like that. That's a follow up to that song, like back then. Oh, well, she talked about that. Well, that's this, or that theme sounds, familiar, and so that would probably be the most fun, and the best quality, scenario you can think of, as loud as possible.
So true. It's good. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this record for new listeners in 3 words.
Everything but the kitchen sink.
We'll hyphen it.
What? Yeah, it's fine.
We'll hyphen it. It works.
Fine. Exactly.
Okay.
So what's your favorite memory from creating this record?
Let's see, studio. One of my favorite memories is the studio that we did it in had this really big room that had a beautiful reverb to it. It's the kind of room that you kind of can't help but just be like, oh, and
just scream.
Yeah. As soon as you start to, like, your footsteps, and you can tell, like, oh wait, this is that kind of room. And so we added like some choir vocals at the end of a song that we did not plan to. It was the Thinkers and Prayers. So there was a religious, and prayers, preyers, like praying on. So it's a little tongue in cheek there, but yeah. So we added some choral vocals, and what was really fun about that is there were only like 5 of us. I think we brought in some people, like our producer Matt came in, and we brought maybe 6 people were doing it, but we all would sing one layer of the thing, and then they'd play it back, and we'd then sing the next layer of the harmonies, and the next layer, and the next layer. And before you know it sounded like there was a huge choir. It was just us, and that was really kind of fun building.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop, you're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its?
Okay.
That's the original. I was going to ask white cheddar or regular, but original. Okay.
Just the original regular. And I've relatively recently gone vegan, but that's one of my cheats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and Reese's, or one of those nut rages. I really like that, like peanut buttery. But yeah, and that's since it's bad, cheeses are bad. I keep it to original. So if they don't have original, I don't mess around. I just don't have them. So that's my limit.
All right, fair enough.
I don't enjoy any of the other ones as much. It's not worth it.
Yeah, so you gotta have the original.
Yeah, agreed. They have the toasty. I've never seen the toasty in there.
What is the toasty?
There's an extra toasted version I've only seen in the box, like at the grocery store. And it seems like they only put it out around like football, like the Super Bowl time.
Yeah.
But if I ever did see that version, that I would get also.
All right.
Amazing.
What about you guys? What are y'all's gas station snacks?
Gas station snacks? Oh, we haven't gotten this one flipped on us yet.
Yeah. We've gotten literally every other question flipped on us except this one.
Well, fine. I'll take it first then. Probably some of the gas stations have the little bags of Lay's dill pickle chips.
Oh my God,
I fucking love those things. They're so good. And then they've also put the Baja Blast back in the bottles, and I've been addicted to those lately. So one of those as well.
As you should be.
Yeah.
Oh God. I don't know. Probably just like a chip. I don't know. I can't really think right now about what. Probably like maybe Pocky. I like Pocky. It's a good snacking, sweet. Nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to fancy gas stations.
Yeah. Wait, you guys don't have Pocky at your gas
station? No.
I don't know about. I mean, yeah, at the gas station. I haven't even looked. Honestly,
you should.
So you've got that in my head. I'm going to be on, and we are touring the country here in like 6 weeks. So I'll be on the lookout. I'll let you know. I'll send you pictures of my Pocky.
Okay, good.
So speaking of tour, what are your top 3 songs that you're looking forward to playing live off this record?
I'm anxious about the one where I'm playing trumpet, but I am excited to see. I think it will go well. If it goes well, it's going to be one of those like high risk, high reward.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's either going to sound really dumb or it's going to be amazing. So I'm anxious and eager to see how that one goes. And I guess like the new songs that we haven't put out yet. The first 2 songs on the record we're working on and gearing up. And then so that's 2. And then a third one, I guess, maybe Deal With Me, which is, we put that out as a single. That's really just kind of fun to play. Oh, there's one that we did in 6/8 that I really like too.
Okay.
I look forward to playing all of the songs.
It's very hard to answer that question when we're not name dropping anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like song A, song C, and
exactly.
Song F.
So for the last couple of questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Sick. So if you could become one animal for the rest of your life, which animal would you be and why?
Ooh, I would probably, my first thought was that I would want to be one of the big cats, but probably for the wrong reason, just because they're so beautiful and sleek and graceful. But I also don't want to have to hunt for and kill things to survive. And then some of the other ones that might be fun would be like, like Bumblebee.
Oh,
but their life, maybe they do live long enough. Yeah, that would be my alternate.
Yeah. I think they live like 3 months if they're like doing like really good.
Yeah.
I might be wrong.
And no one's going to go out of their way to step on you because you've got a stinger.
Yeah.
True. And you just got your nose in flowers all day long. And then honey. That's not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
So if you could listen to one song for the rest of your life, what song would it be?
Oh gosh, what do other people say to that?
Oh god, we get just a lot of like, oh, my favorite song is X, so it's this song. And I'm just like, you wouldn't get sick of that? But okay,
I would think I would get sick. I can't think of that, but a song that I have been listening to over and over again recently is do you guys know about this movie called Streets of Fire?
I think I've heard of it.
It's from the 80s, but it was a flop in the 80s.
Oh.
So it didn't really get, like, people don't really know that much about it. And it just came out on Netflix, I think maybe a month or 2 ago.
Oh.
And so what it feels like is like, it feels like an 80s spoof because they do it so good. It's so 80s. Because it was done in like 1984. But there's a couple songs and there's one at the end called like Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young. And the lyrics are insane. They don't make any sense. Talking about walking on the on the rings of the sun and some kind of angel. And there's a girl and a boy and tonight.
Wow. So it just goes everywhere.
Yeah. There's a prince, I think, that's dancing like a cat on the stairs.
Oh.
Whatever that's supposed to mean, but it's epic. It goes on and on. It's so cool. And yeah, the absurdity makes it really fun to listen to too. So I'm going to go with that one for now.
And you could take all the time you have with it, which is forever, to decipher the lyrics.
Yes, the lyrics. And then there's also lots of different layers of harmonies. And like this chorus is good. These guys are going like la, la, la. And the others are going ah, ah, or whatever. There's different layers you can learn.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
So for this last question, boom, you're on a desert island. You can only bring one person, one movie, and one album. Who and what are you bringing?
One person, one movie, one album.
Yep.
Okay, so the movie, I'm going to go with Streets of Fire just because I'm there. Yeah. And the one person, I guess I'll have to say my husband.
I guess.
And then what was the other one? Oh, a record. I really, really kind of keep going back to that Arctic Monkeys one, the Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, I think is the name of the whole
okay, yeah.
I listened to that again. I got off of it, but listened to it again over the weekend, and it's just so good. And that one's another one. There's so many layers, and yeah.
All right.
Good answers.
So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
We've got a new record coming out, 8/20. It will also be available after 8/20 if you don't hit the deadline, but that will be We're going to leave it up there for you. And we're going on tour with Candlebox. We're going to be all around the country except for the Northwest. We're really just going through the Southwest as far as the west part of the country, but come out. It's going to be a grand old time.
All right. Thank you for sitting with us. It's been Daisy from the Dead Deads, and we've been the Good Noise Podcast.